see if anybody is woke. Because I didn't expect for that reunion to be 2 hours long. Did not expect for that reunion to be 2 hours long. But hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hashtag Movie Bae. I am Movie Bae, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a review over Love is Blind Season 6, The Reunion. I just got done watching it. As y'all know, it premiered late. It stayed on for 2 hours. That's why I was like, I'm going out of town tomorrow, and if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So I decided to just hop on live real quick, talk about it. If y'all are woke, jump in the chat. If not, catch the replay, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with Jeremy, Laura, and Sara Ann. I'm so happy that they kicked off the reunion with some tea, okay? Because they could have started off with Amy, and they could have started off with Britney and Ken, but they started off with Jeremy, Laura, and Sara Ann. And when I tell y'all, they did not cut Sara Ann any slack. They did not cut Sara Ann any slack, and I was proud of it. Y'all can tell I just got my nails done because I keep going like this, right? Movie Bae don't ever do this, but I'm doing it now because I got my nails done. So let's go ahead and get started. Jeremy and Sara Ann are currently dating. What? They popped up on the scene holding hand in hand. Okay? So that was a news flash to me. Did y'all think they was going to be dating afterwards? I didn't think so. But according to Chelsea, it hasn't been as picture perfect as they're trying to make it seem. Their relationship has been very up and down, very on and off. And that's what happens when you try to force things. That's what happens when you try to force things and make things work and make things happen. Y'all wasn't supposed to be together. You trying to force it. That was whoever you believe in. I believe in God. So that was God's sign when he declined you in the pod, Sara Ann. That was his sign to say, move on. Not send a DM on Instagram. Not double back. That was not what the Lord was trying to say. I don't know what it is when it comes to, and I can't attest to men because I'm not a man, but when it comes to us women, we always do this like, God, if he ain't the one for me, just give me a sign. And then God will literally hold the sign up in our face and we be like, I can't read that. What are you trying to say? Like, I don't know why. As women, I don't know why we do that. So online, there was a lot of tea going on about certain cast members, and that tea was addressed. Some of that tea was addressed on the reunion, and one of which was Jeremy was engaged while he was on the show. He says no, but y'all, what I've learned is Jeremy is a habitual liar. Habitual liar. He just be lying. So he said that he was not engaged. The engagement was broken off. He was living by himself. He had moved out when he applied or was reached out to do the show. Okay. But like I said, Jeremy, he's a liar. He got caught up in his lies so much through this reunion. I said, this is embarrassing. Like, you literally getting clowned. You literally getting caught up in your own lies. So the biggest thing with Jeremy was obviously the Sara Ann DM and staying up talking, pillow talking, car conversations till 5 o'clock in the morning, right? Laura has to work, so she phoned in via Ubu. Y'all remember Ubu? It was definitely Skype. But that's how Laura was there. And I'm happy she was present for the reunion because this would not have been anything without her. So Vanessa, that's her name, right? The host. This is my first season, y'all. She asked Jeremy, why would you lie about your location if you're sharing your location? And he did not answer the question. He danced all around it. And I'm so happy that Vanessa doubled back and said, okay, so you're not answering the question. Did you initially lie? Like, did you meant to lie about your location? Because why would you tell her to check your location, that you're sharing your location, and you know that you weren't where you see your location something you were supposed to be? You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, oh, I did it intentionally. I know you did it. You was just trying to come up with something out your ass. That's what you was trying to do. If y'all are just coming in, first off, I'm surprised that y'all woke. So give me a thumbs up on your way in. We are going over the Love is Blind Season 6 reunion. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe because I do content like this all the time. And if you're OG, you already know the deal. You already know, drop down in the chat, let me know that you're here. So let's continue with Jeremy, Laura, and Sara Ann. So my notes are kind of all over the place, but Sara Ann calls Laura a pick-me. When I tell you, I was like, a fucking joke. You are a joke. Sara Ann calling Laura a pick-me. How is it giving pick-me, baby, when I was already chosen? How is it giving pick-me when I was already chosen? And I'm so happy that not only did Laura, but Jess politely read Sara Ann ass down. Like, how is she a pick-me when she was the one engaged? He dumped you in the pods, and you had to reach out on Instagram. And you had to meet up with where he was at the bar. And you had to, girl, it's giving pick-me. You were definitely chasing this engaged man. I don't understand. The delusion. Sara Ann is the delusion of the year. It makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me. So what did my notes say? Jeremy and Laura were good up until he told me. So Sara Ann lets us know, not Sara Ann, Laura lets us know that her and Jeremy were good. Like, they were good. They were still on board to getting married. We all saw that he met her family. And then that same night, the same night he met her family, he goes out with friends and runs into Sara Ann and stays all into the night, into the morning with Sara Ann. So that is one reason why Laura was just flabbergasted, because she thought that they were on good terms. Make sense? But no, you sitting there having car conversations. Now, Sara Ann and Jeremy, they stayed true to they didn't do anything outside from talk. I can attest, when I was in high school especially, we had this thing called car conversations. If you're a millennial, you already know. Car conversations, where you literally can talk until the wee hours of the morning, because I had curfew. But if we could talk to 5 o'clock in the morning, we would have been talking to 5 o'clock in the morning, right? So I don't doubt that they were talking. I do not doubt that. But when Vanessa asked, did y'all kiss? And they said, no, absolutely not. Y'all lying. Y'all lying. You telling me that y'all talked from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. and you didn't even touch lips? All I did was talk. It was some good conversation. That was some good conversation lasting that long. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Let's talk about these lies that he got wrapped up in. So, something that we didn't know is that Sara Ann apologized to Laura on the lake, right? And she was saying, I just had to. Did she apologize, y'all? Or because to me, it seemed like she was just explaining why she did what she did. And that's not apologizing. She just explained her perspective, which is what she had been doing. And Laura was just like, yeah. But I would watch out if I were you, girl, because he's a liar. And is. And is. And is. He lied about where he was with you. If he would lie to me, what make you think that he wouldn't lie to you? How you get him? Y'all know the saying, the same way you get him, it's the same way you, period. Okay? Now, let's see. Like I was saying, Jeremy kept getting caught up in his lies, right? He said, I didn't say this, and then somebody would say that he did. I didn't say we were broken up, and then Chelsea was like, every time I saw you, that y'all were broken up. I only saw you once. I saw you twice, but continue. So Laura even mentioned how Jeremy, in their conversations, would say he doesn't want to look as bad as Jimmy, right? And he like, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's all he kept doing. Shaking that big ass head of his. That's a lie. And then Jimmy said, wait a minute, because after, when I was faced with my decision, choosing between 2 people in the pod, I heard you say the same thing, that Jimmy is the bad guy. But I thought you didn't say that, Jeremy. Jeremy is a habitual liar. And when I tell y'all, I ain't gonna say Jeremy was my favorite, but I thought he was gonna be like, it's so many people, y'all. Amy and Johnny. I thought he was gonna be like Johnny, like low key, real cool guy. How do you like Hawaiian shirts and be toxic? Like Hawaiian's supposed to give chill, no? Okay, but it's giving toxic. Last thing on them. Oh well. Oh, Sara Ann being iced out from the group chat. Don't matter. Don't care. You don't belong in the group chat, sis. When you intentionally reach out to an engaged man of one of the women that belong to one of the women in the group chat, you will be removed from the group chat. And Jess was standing on 10. I think I like Jess, y'all. I think I like Jess. She was standing on 10. She said, I removed you from the group chat because we decided that you didn't need to be in the group chat. You're not a girl's girl. That was the term of this reunion. Girl's girl. You're not a girl's girl. Oh, and show me the receipts. That's what they kept saying this whole reunion. The last thing I wanted to say about this couple is how the host, which of course they had to do this is their job, they wanted to make sure that the audience knows that the show Love is Blind did not make a mockery out of the experiment, but individuals in the experiment made a mockery of it. And let's go ahead and get into more of that as we go into Trevor. Y'all remember Trevor, right? Chelsea's number 2. Let's talk about Trevor. But before we do, if you are in the live, I need you to give me a thumbs up. The thumbs up lets me know that you're here. It lets other people know that you're here, and it lets other people know that we're live. Don't y'all want to have a dialogue? Come on, I want to have a dialogue in the chat. That's why I came live. That, and I was not going to record this because I go on vacation tomorrow. So drop down in the chat. Let me know you're here. What were y'all thoughts on Jeremy, Laura, and Sara Ann? I'm so happy they did not take it easy on Sara Ann. Oh, I'm so happy because that girl deserved to get red. Here's the difference between Sara Ann and Jessica. Jessica owned up to her moments, and she is not proud of them. Sara Ann is proud of them. That's the difference. One is an unintentional homewrecker. One is a intentional homewrecker. But I've said this in my reviews that Sara Ann is what we thought Jessica was going to be. If you know, you know. Let's go ahead and get into Trevor, another person who made a mockery out of the experiment. And I'm gonna take it easy on Trevor because either he is a good manipulator or something is really wrong with him. But he touched my heart, y'all. When he came out looking all frumpy and like he did, he was like, oh my God. I was like, what is wrong with him? He's so awkward. He is so awkward. Because something might really be, mentally wrong with him. I'm not going to say too much. But if y'all follow the T online, which I hardly do, I know bits and pieces, so I'm happy they talked about it on the reunion. But Trevor had a girlfriend and they planned his application and getting onto the show, getting up to the altar and saying no, right? They just wanted clout. He wanted clout, and the girlfriend was in full support. The Love is Blind producers, they showed the receipts, okay? It didn't really say the plan verbatim, but it was things like, I just landed. I love you. When I get out of here, I'm going to marry you. Hey, babe, I just landed. I'm out. I miss you so much. Whoop-de, 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 whoop. Okay? They asked for Trevor's response on the whole ordeal. This is what Trevor says. First off, he couldn't even talk for like a good 2 minutes. He was just like, I was like, oh. Like, he got me, y'all. I don't know if he was manipulated, but I was like, oh, don't let him explain. Just ask him direct questions. Maybe he could say a yes or a no because the baby can't talk. Y'all be nice to Trevor, the gentle giant. Did he pull the wool over my eyes? Did he? All right, so when he did muster up the strength to speak, he told the host, he told everybody that that was not my girlfriend. What? He said, I never asked her if she could be my girlfriend. Trevor is an F boy. Let me tell you why. Semantics. Guys like to do this, and they do this to clear their conscience of cheating. We were never in a relationship. I never asked you to be my girlfriend. Well, if we're kissing, if we're touching, if we're loving, if we're saying I love yous and I do's and I'm meeting your friends and your family, but we in a relationship. I don't care what you asked or not. But you know what? That was like 20-year-old movie bag as 30-year-old movie bag. I need to hear those words because I know game now. I know game now. And if I don't hear those words, it ain't happening. If I don't hear those words, I'm not even playing girlfriend because I'm not your girlfriend, remember? Right, exactly. So he tried to pull that. Oh, she wasn't even my girlfriend. Okay, he tried to pull that. And then he says that that was just somebody he was talking to. He wasn't playing Chelsea. He was playing the girl on the outside of the pods, his not girlfriend. Because he said that they were toxic and he really wanted to get away from her to do this experiment and hopefully meet somebody new. That's what he said. So he wanted to let it be known he wasn't playing Chelsea. He was playing the other girl. Does that make it any better? What goes on in guys' heads? Like, does it make it any better? So after so much heat getting on Trevor, he eventually asked if he could leave the stage. And Nick is like, yeah, you can leave, go ahead. And he gets up and walks off the stage. Oh my God, y'all. When I tell y'all, Trevor got me though. He got me. He did own up to being toxic. He did own up to him being wrong. But it was all the anxiety that he had that just made me feel sorry for him. Give me a thumbs up if you too felt sorry for Trevor. Y'all probably did it, y'all heartless souls. If you did feel sorry for Trevor though, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, still give me a thumbs up because I have the heart that you don't. or I'm easily finessed. Let's go ahead and get into another person who was easily finessed. AD. AD all day. They had that person strategically placed in the audience holding up that AD all day sign so they could segue into AD and Clay's storyline. I know what y'all doing. I peeped the production. Okay. So we all know that Clay said that it would not be responsible for me to say I do at this very moment. So he and AD did not get married. He also did not reach out after the altar scene or after she told him to leave the dressing room, but eventually he did. And he, watching it back, Clay said that, he looked like a big dick on TV, and it was breaking his heart to see her heart breaking and how in love she was and how much she was actually trying. So he apologized to her, her family, her friends, and I was like, "That's big of you. That's big of you." We find out that Clay is also in the therapy that he was talking about all season long. I want to go to therapy. I think we should do therapy. You need to do therapy by yourself first. You have to do individual therapy before you can do any type of group session, sir. So Clay is finally getting the therapy that he so desperately wanted to get and that he needs. Because the first step is to acknowledging it. The first step is to acknowledging it. Now, Clay, y'all, either I'm a big simp. I don't know, because he was also making me. Here's the thing. I don't like to see men cry. Let me tell you why. Because men hardly cry. So when I see a man cry, if it feels genuine, I'm gonna be sad because it takes a lot, in my opinion, from my experience, to see him for a man to cry. So when they do cry, it touches my heart. So Clay starts to tear up, and he talks about how, how he never seen these role models in our culture, in our culture. So he had all these wondering thoughts, and I want to speak on this because I can't remember if I mentioned it in my review or not, but I've never been married. I've never been engaged. However, had these conversations with my father, and I have male friends that are married. And I'm not saying this specifically happened to them, but it is normal, women too, to have that thought of, am I ready to get married? Am I doing the right thing? Like that thought, so I've heard, so I've been told, will cross your mind. So Clay having those doubts, cold feet as they call it, it's not foreign. Okay? So I don't fault him for having those thoughts. I just fault him for taking up until the very last moment to tell us or to tell AD that he had these doubts. Actually, he had been low-key dropping seeds. AD just wasn't watering them. Cause remember when she said, I don't want to be a forever fiance, and he was like, why we gotta put a time limit on it? That was him telling her right there that I don't think I'm ready to actually be married yet. So he did low-key drop hints. She just wasn't picking up what he was putting down. Clay says he didn't feel like he deserved love nor marriage, and that he made a mistake because AD is the love of his life. Wow. And that's a lot. That was heavy. Imagine that you're at the altar and the person you're about to marry says that they can't marry you, at least not right now. And then they say, a year later, they say, you're the love of my life, I made a mistake. Same as AD, she said, well, what am I supposed to do with this information? What am I honestly supposed to do with this information? Say, okay, babe, I'm ready to get married now. Are you ready? I'm ready. We can do it right now. No. What am I supposed to do with this information? So the host asked if AD and Clay, if AD would still date Clay, and she said, next question. Clay was asked the same thing, and he said in a heartbeat, he'll do it all over again. He would love to date her again. And that is when AD kind of went off. She kind of went off. Subtly, but she went off. She said, respectfully, you played in my face. I was like, period. When the finger comes out, that means I'm mad. And I'm about to read you instead. I'm trying to keep my calm. But this right here means I'm for real. When that finger comes out, she said, respectfully, you played in my face. I said, AD must be watching the channel, because that was definitely my thumbnail for my last videos. He played in her face. Because he did. She said, you knew the whole time that she didn't want to get married. And then that's when Clay was like, no, I actually didn't know the whole time. Yes, you did. Those inklings of doubt, that's you knowing. When they had the conversation in her kitchen, that was him knowing. But it ain't all on Clay, because it's on AD too, because she didn't smell the roses. Because he definitely was giving her signs. He definitely was. This part right here made me sad, and I do want to, not sad, but emotional, and I do want to talk about it. Clay said that he looked up to Brett from season 4 as a role model of what a husband should be. And I didn't watch. I watched Love is Blind season 1 up until old dude came out as bisexual and all the other stuff happened. That's what I watched up to the point. After that, I said, this is too much. This is too much. This is too much for me. When he started talking about her lashes and her weave, I said, oh no, this is too much. This is too much for me. They're a little bit too sassy on here. They're a little bit too sassy. Hey, Gianna. Just talk about Love is Blind before I go on this vacation, because I was not going to do it tomorrow. So we had to do it right now. We had to do it right now. But Clay mentioned, not having any positive Black role models to look up to when it came to relationships and marriages. And so he looked up to Brett, who was on a previous season. And just the moment between them was very emotional. Brett was humbled, and his wife was, well, first off, let me say this. He said that, I'm very humble, and I honestly give credit to my wife because she allows me the space to be great. And I was like, that sounds exactly like what you said AD did for you, Clay. Okay. But continue. But that was just a good moment, especially for people, because we could relate to, I mean, everybody can relate to the broken homes. It's not just the African American thing. But I'm not an African American man either, but I'm in the community, so I know that that weighs heavily on their chest and their spirit. I've dated dudes before that have spit the same stuff that Clay spit, so that's probably why I was so eyes wide open, while AD was probably oblivious. Let's go ahead and get into. Let's skip around. Actually, sure, I'll go in order. Jimmy, Chelsea, and Jess. I want to say that I was waiting for Jimmy, Chelsea, and Jess's segment, because if y'all watch my reviews, y'all already know that that's my favorite couple. And that's with all the sarcasm, because I just wanted to know what toxic thing are they going to argue about next. When I tell y'all this segment was so damn boring, I said, oh, we friends? Oh, we supporting each other? Oh, oh, we're communicating healthily? Nah, nah. Get this positivity off my chest. Get this positive relationship off of my screen. They didn't even ask if they were back together, but I guess using your context clues about the questions that they asked, you could guess that they're not dating, but they're probably, they went through this process together. So they kind of, like, I guess, lean on each other for emotional support, because evidently Jimmy and Chelsea are getting a lot of the backlash. I said, really? Jimmy and Chelsea getting a lot of the backlash? I mean, I kind of lay into them too, but it's more so as a learning. Like, let's learn from this. It's not these people suck. No, it's definitely, like one of the previous couples said, from one of the other seasons, they said that watching this show is therapy. We'll watch them talk, we'll pause it, we'll have our own dialogue, see what we would do, what they could have done, and then we'll press play. And I was like, exactly. That's why I feel like I review this show. Before my movie channel, my movie review channel, I had a love, life, and relationship channel. So this goes hand in hand with what I want to do. This goes hand in hand with the love and life advice with the TV show. Just mix it all together. I didn't think people was really laying in to Jimmy and Chelsea like that. Now they did bring up the Megan Fox thing, and I don't care what nobody say. I see it. It's the face shape, it's the eyes, and don't let her dye her hair black, cause it's gonna be over. It's gonna be over for y'all. I see Megan Fox. Megan Foxy. I see it. I would have been one of those people on the airplane, like, ma'am, you know who you look like? No, I was watching who, don't fault me if I get it wrong, but I think it was Jessie Woo, because she covers Love is Blind, and she called her Megan Trainor. It's accurate though. It's accurate though. I can see that too. I can see that too for Chelsea. I can see that too. So let's go ahead and get into their segment, because I'm trying to be off of here in like 45-minute mark. Okay. They talked about what did Jimmy's friends feel about Chelsea sharing their secret on TV. And long story short, he says that he can handle the backlash, but he didn't want that for her because she doesn't deserve that. And I'm thinking, like, we don't even know which one it is. I mean, I have my speculations. I'm thinking it was the loud one with the boobs out. I think it was her. But it could also be the other girl who was quiet and the girl with the boobs out. She the one who like, I know a secret, because you know, they like the loud friends like that. So, but I really do think it was, I think it's the one with the boobs. I think it was her. But anyways, nobody knows who it was. So what backlash is she really receiving? Okay, let's think about that. Number two, when it comes to that friend of the same opposite sex thing, I don't want to hear that. Because when he introduced Chelsea to those girls, he said, these are my best friends of 2 years, and they're females? Nah, nope. That was not no platonics from the sandbox friendship. Y'all definitely smashed. I knew that from jump. See, here's the thing about Chelsea. Chelsea was never wrong. Listen, hold on. Stay with me. Stay with me. Chelsea was never wrong. However, her emotions or her feelings, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it was amplified. Because it's like, I see myself in Chelsea a little bit. But I also be like, you tripping now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got friends, best friends of 2 years that are females, and then you told me you smashed? Yeah, you can't hang out with them no more. Nope. Nope. I'm not gonna feel comfortable with that. If y'all hang out, we all hanging out together type. You know what I'm saying? But the who are you with? Who do you text all day? Where do you go when you're not here? All of that stuff, that was OD. That was OD. Because if you gotta ask, you don't even need to be in that relationship. If in your spirit, in your woman's intuition, if that ain't sitting right with you, you don't need to be in that relationship. Let's see. Chelsea says that she regrets bringing up the friend, him smashing his friend, because it ruined everything. And I said, sis, everything was already ruined. What are you talking about? Y'all were not meant to be together. And the fact that both of them think that that was the detrimental end to their relationship is beyond me. It's telling me that they haven't learned anything. Because watching that on TV, if I was them and I was watching that on TV, I'm like, ooh, we were doomed from the beginning. Isn't that like a Taylor Swift song? I knew you were trouble when you walked there. Yes. Doomed from the beginning. Okay. I don't know how I made that correlate, but it correlated. This is something that I'm gonna kind of skip over because it lasted way too long to me. But long story short, Jimmy and Jess are no longer cool. Jess and Chelsea, best friends. Her daughter calls her Aunt Chelsea. But you cool with that, but you're not cool with, okay. Okay. Probably because she never smashed Jimmy. Maybe that's why. Okay. But Jess and Jimmy, however, they low-key got beef because Jimmy was going around doing interviews, talking down on Jess, talking about how she was hammering him to make a decision, and she stormed out of their last date, and they had to roll the tapes back. She was really in there for 2.5 hours before she left. Men. But at the same time, I was like, it's a difference between lies and perceptions. Lies and perceptions are different. Because somebody could have literally just perceived something differently, and that is their truth. Would that be a lie? If it's their truth, is it a lie? So, long story short, that whole argument between them was all semantics. It was childish AF because she was like, "Oh, you're talking about me on podcast." It was really 2 hours, but like, I'm like, ugh. It doesn't matter because y'all are not together. It doesn't matter because y'all are not together. It doesn't matter because y'all are not together. Can we move on? Because they literally let them argue for like 5 minutes about the same childish stuff, and I didn't even take that much notes. I just put literally, I put Jess and Jimmy's conversation is childish. I didn't even take any notes about it because I didn't want to hear that no more. Last but not least is Britney and Kenneth. Kenneth says, well, first off, let's talk about this. Britney and Kenneth both brought up the fact that they did not want to have sex before they got married. And even though the crave wasn't between them, they still didn't want to resort to having sex because some people might not agree with this, but you don't want that to be something that you rely on. Okay, there have been I have heard about relationships where, you know, every time it's an argument, they have sex, and then it's like now y'all never talk, y'all just have sex. So now your relationship is built on sex. Y'all have no communication. Y'all don't really care about feelings and emotions because that is how y'all solve y'all problems. So essentially, it's the same thing with that relationship. And that's why a lot of people do abstain from sex until marriage, because they want to make sure that our bond is genuine and not just motivated and fueled by sexual attraction. So I agree with Britney and Kenneth that they did not want to jump the gun just to see if it would be there or not. Kenneth said he was really working because he is a very hands-on principal, and shout outs to the hands-on principals. Um, and something else Kenneth wanted to set the record straight on was how the world perceived him as not being phased by Britney and he and Britney's breakup, but he actually was. He just didn't show his emotions. But when the cameras cut, he called Clay. He said, "That is when I, vented." Touche. Especially as a man, they're not going to break down how how Britney would break down. Like y'all really got to think about both sides, because especially as a man, especially as a black man, showing your emotions on TV on top of that, nah, it ain't gonna come that easily. Um, Even though Kenneth and Brittany are not together, they are still very, very, very close friends. So close, in fact, that they had to have the conversation about when they start dating other people, like when they start dating, what will their relationship look like, because they want to be respectful of their future partners. Okay. One thing I wish they had addressed with Kenneth and Brittany was more, I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna say I wish, because y'all know what's going on online about Kenneth. I honestly don't think it's true, but I did think, because they were pulling up all the other things that were coming out online, I did think that they were gonna pull up the stuff about Kenneth as well, but they did not. And hindsight, I think that was the respectable thing, the respectable choice to do, because you don't even know if that's true or not, and if it is true, um outing somebody's sexuality is not, if he didn't sign off on that, then we're not gonna talk about it type you know what I'm saying. With that being said, y'all, I don't care about none of the other Love is Blind people relationship, because I didn't watch the other seasons. Sorry. So if y'all were looking for catching up on those people, I don't know, some people are traveling, some people get a new house, some people having a baby. Love is Blind. um If y'all are not shy, y'all can drop into the chat for the next like 3 minutes. We can talk about anything y'all want to talk about. I don't think I missed anything. Oh, the only other thing I did not mention was the fan questions about Jesse and Chelsea. How Jessica and Chelsea are still friends despite the bar scene. And this is when I said this is the difference between Sarah Ann and Jessica, because Jessica owned up to that was not a proud moment. And I'm not proud of that. Meanwhile, Sarah Ann sending DMs and she don't care nothing about it. She don't care nothing about it. Here's my thing with Sarah Ann. I'm like I said at the beginning of this video, y'all, I'm so happy. What? Oh, my hair was wet. I'm so happy that they did not hold bars, no hold bars on Sarah Ann. They let that girl have it. And it's because she showed no remorse. If you were remorseful or at least empathetic to Laura and Jeremy's relationship, then the viewers would not be so harsh on you. But she just stood 10 toes behind her little message, because she had to get what was on her chest off of her chest. If you wanted to get something off of your chest, you should have waited until this reunion, because that's what it's for. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. On the way out, check out all my playlists, y'all. I do a lot of Netflix reviews. I do reality competition. I do throwback movies, throwback reality shows, reality TV. I do a little bit of everything, okay? Whatever I watch and want to talk about, that's what I watch and talk about. So hit the subscribe button if you're new. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up on your way in or on your way out. If you're in the replay gang, timestamp and leave a comment so I can, be caught up to what y'all talking about. Once again, thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.